This is Emily, and I'm here with Brian, and we are here for another week of our Unscripted.
It's almost baseball season. Oh.
Yes, we've got a lot going on, including how it's almost baseball season. But normally we spend this time that we kind of talk about the past sermon, but we also had a lot going on in church this past week beyond just your amazing sermon about shining through in the worship center. So you preached in the worship center, and then Colin Brown, who was a former Chiefs player, preached in the sanctuary about shining through. But we also had a lot of really exciting announcements that we got to talk about. So I'll let you kind of start. What's happening, I don't know, on the 21st?
Oh my gosh, so much is happening, Emily. So the 21st, we are welcoming everyone back in person for those who want to join us in person again. And a year ago, I would never have guessed that that would have been something we were excited about.
Yes.
I mean, always excited to welcome people back. The welcome back part, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, we always are welcoming, but the idea that that was even an option, that it wouldn't have been an option to be having in person.
I would have been so confused. What do you mean we're not going to be together? And what?
Exactly. So we're still going to be streaming them on Facebook and through our website. You can still find us on
Live
YouTube,
stream.
all that kind of stuff. But we are going to be opening up for a 10:30 service in both of our venues.
Can I interject real quick?
Yes, go.
By the way, she just mentioned YouTube. If you could hop onto YouTube, youtube.com, and if you have a profile, a lot of times you can get it through your Google account. If you just maybe only have a YouTube account, I don't know if you can do both or separate. Anyway, doesn't matter. If you could go to Woods Chapel Church and search us for our channel and like it, that would be...
And subscribe to it.
Like and subscribe it. Yeah, I meant subscribe. There's so many different ways to, say the same thing. But subscribe to our channel because that helps us get out there a little bit better, and it gets us the ability to have a vanity URL so that you could just search for Woods Chapel easier in YouTube, and people can find us quicker. So there's a couple channels, right, Nathan? And the one we want you to get has our logo that's in green, the WC logo. That's the one you're going to want to subscribe to. So.
Perfect. Yeah, that would be awesome. And then you can, obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, congratulations.
You made it.
Yeah.
You're here.
But you can also see a lot of our other segments, like our sermons, any other announcement videos we have are all there. So it's kind of a great resource if you're just looking for videos.
Yeah.
But we are going to be doing, if you go to our website, which is woodschapelchurch.org/welcomeback, there's a bunch of information about an FAQ, a video, and then that's also where you can register to let us know that you're coming back to church, just so we can help make sure that we are keeping social distancing and keeping everybody safe when they come back.
Yeah,
so.
But we're going to have plenty of room, and it's going to be great to be back again, and Yeah, and then again, always join us online or in person. That is kind of a great thing, is this has made it so our church is more vast than what I think we would have considered it a year ago, with the fact that you can log on from anywhere and watch us. Yes.
Which I think is also really great. And you can have that community even if you're not physically in the building. Because I love that too, that the church never closed.
Right.
The church has been open this whole year. We're just excited to be welcoming people back for some in-person services as well.
Yeah.
And then, so that's the first Sunday of Lent, which means Lent really kicks off on Wednesday the 17th.
Yeah.
So the Wednesday before. And that's going to be Ash Wednesday.
Yes.
Do you kind of want to talk a little bit about what we're celebrating at Ash Wednesday?
So, by the way, I need to write a script, and we need to shoot a promo for Ash Wednesday. I totally forgot about that.
Be in tune for that, yeah.
Ash Wednesday is when we take time to remember that we're mortal and that we need to repent of our sin in our lives, and kind of remember that we are redeemed, but one day we're going to go back to the earth, and it's a great way to kind of remember that and to kick off Lent, which is a season of remembering Jesus' sacrifice as it builds up to the resurrection. I think that in the United States, Christ followers are really great at celebrating the power of God and Jesus' resurrection. We're not always great about thinking what it means to be sacrificial and Jesus' sacrifice. We're not as comfortable with that because it can kind of be dark and
Yeah.
wah wah, you know.
Right. It's harder to sit with.
It's harder to sit with. Yeah, I like that phrase. So that's one of the reasons that I love Ash Wednesday. And so we're going to have several different times where you could drive through and receive ashes. We're going to be socially distant in how we do that. We'll have a Q-tip that we'll put in the ash, and we'll be gloved and masked and all that stuff. And you can receive ashes that way. And then we'll also have an in-person option in the sanctuary for those who want to do that as well. So
Yep, and that'll be in the evening. So that one's like from 6 to 7:30, and then we have drive-up options throughout the day, like one in the morning from like 6:30 to 8, one in the afternoon, maybe over your lunch break between 11:30 to 1, and then one from 3 to 4:30, maybe as you're picking up kids or from school, that kind of thing. So hopefully trying to catch some of those different times.
Yeah, as well as during the in-person in the sanctuary too, we'll have a drive-up option also.
Yeah, at the same time, that's true. Yeah. So that kind of kicks off the beginning of Lent, but we also have a lot of new groups that are launching. So if you've been kind of like looking for what that next step is, we have a lot of really great options as far as maybe just taking that next step in serving or taking that next step in a study group.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you start talking about the how to be an anti-racist group.
Yes.
Because you and Marcy have really been instrumental, and this is the second time that we're getting to offer that class.
So Marcy Gregg, she, a lot of you know Marcy Gregg, and if you don't, phenomenal human being. All of our leaders are phenomenal. I don't want to set myself up. I'm going to have to like brag on all of them individually.
They all
for
deserve
like
brags.
10 minutes at a time. Yeah, they do. They're all phenomenal.
Yeah.
But she also plays in our worship center band as well from time to time, pretty regularly, honestly. So anyway, she is launching a second go-round on the book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. And it's an opportunity to look at what are practical, actionable steps that you can take to be an anti-racist, which really means that you are open to seeing how structures and different things lead to inequalities and why that matters, why that should matter to anybody, and how you can kind of make a difference to that. And so it's a great study. She's wonderful at leading this, and it's a safe place where if you're really struggling with this whole systemic racism kind of issue, trying to wrap your head around it, or maybe you're in a place where you feel like you understand it more, but you're stuck in how do you make a difference. This is a great study for that, for both kinds of places where you might be, just because the church should be a place where it can be safe and you can express what you're thinking about and what you're wrestling with without judgment or fear of rejection.
Yeah.
So,
and that's going to be over Zoom, which I also think is cool because you can invite other people to be a part of it. I know there's been some other studies where I invited my sister-in-law who doesn't live here in Kansas City, but we were able to sign up and we were planning on signing up and doing a study together even though we don't live in the same town, which I think is another benefit of having it on Zoom. So that's starting on the 15th, Monday the 15th, and then we'll go for the next 7 Mondays after that. We also have another study called How Can I Help? And that's starting on Sunday the 21st. And that one's going to be really focusing on justice within the prison system and talking about love and mercy and that takes place with those that are facing incarceration and the family members of those that are in incarceration.
Yes.
Jan Colson and Greg Osborne are going to be leading that. That's also via Zoom. And that's going to be another 7-week study on Sunday evenings.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm excited about that because a lot of times we don't know, I don't know, there's some issues that I feel strongly about that I don't necessarily know how can I make a difference. I'm just Brian, and other than helping people become aware of issues, this is something that I think could lead to actual avenues for people to make a difference who are passionate about engaging the justice system in a way that you're there for people who are incarcerated and all of that. So.
Yeah, very cool. And then we just have a lot going on.
We do so much.
Yes, but that's great. I love that because if hopefully something of this is speaking to you that is like interesting, that you maybe just, even if you're not quite ready to sign up, we are going to drop a link in here, and there's an ability to just even ask for more information about any of this stuff. So maybe you're not quite ready to say, yeah, I want to join, but if you want to talk with us a little bit more past this little blurb we can give you, go ahead and click on that link and click you want more information, and we'd be happy to talk with you about any more of these groups.
Yeah.
But we're starting another Lent series. So this is going to run for 6 weeks for the time of Lent. So this would be starting on Wednesday the 24th. So a week after Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's called Praying for Your Elephant.
Yeah.
I love it. This is a book that is really special to me. It's a book that was like pretty transformative in my own walk of like how I approach prayer. And Pam Carpenter and Kelly Edmondson are going to be leading this, and it's over this book of kind of just talking about how do you approach God with kind of these like, it says like audacious prayers, like this kind of like bigger than life prayers. Like how do you incorporate that into your prayer life?
Okay. See, I thought from the title that it was more about like, oh, dear God, can I not have to watch Dumbo for the 10th time?
Yeah, no,
Please,
not
God, can
quite
you
that.
Take this away from me? No?
No,
Sorry.
but
Okay.
it's about having like specific prayers, and really, I think it kind of goes back to Lent as a time to really focus in on something. Mm-hmm. So I love that they're doing this as a Lent study, because it's really saying for the next 6 weeks, of Lent, like let's really focus in not only on just our relationship with God and Jesus in general, but let's hone in on our prayer life and really focus on that for 6 weeks, which I think is really great.
Yeah, very cool.
And then you're leading a study, so I'm just going to get out of the way and let you talk about it since you're leading it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this, which you would hope, right, as the leader, that I wouldn't just be blah about it. But I am very excited because I've never led a study with anyone at Woods Chapel or any friends or family outside of Woods Chapel that would want to be guests, other than in student ministry.
Right.
And so it's called God Stuff, and we're going to be going through a 6-week series, just kind of what does it mean that God is real? And it's a no prep study. I'm doing all of that for you. There's going to be some really engaging topics and conversation, as well as chance to kind of ask questions and that sort of thing. And so I really want it to be not just me talking about different topics, but engaging with people. And it's I'm really excited about it. So we're going to cover things like, how do we know that God's real? Like, what are those ways that we know? What's this Bible thing about? How do we read it? What's Jesus all about? Why is he such a big deal? And so it's not just for people that have been involved in a church setting or have had a faith for a while. It really, I want this to be for anyone who just has questions, you know?
Yeah.
Because there are times when I have questions and I think, man, why haven't I understood this concept for a long time now, you know? But
right.
So.
No, and I think the more of a diverse of a group that is, of people that have had all different experiences, little experiences, all of it will even just make that conversation that much better for everyone else that's in the group.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but you know, that's kind of what's going on in the life of the church right now. We are just so excited that there's so many different options, and there's even more that we haven't talked about. We've got the table going on at our Raytown campus. We have a bunch of different mission opportunities. We're still focusing on the Super Bowl of Caring. I'm trying to tackle hunger like we talked about in church. There are so many different ways to be the church, and we are just very excited for all these opportunities, and we hope that you join us as we continue to make transforming communities and grow together towards Christ.
That's right. So don't forget, you're included, accepted, and loved.
Yep. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.